Hello, we Nerds. Thank you so much for being here. We are giving you our thoughts on Mysterium Park, the shorter, quicker version of Mysterium. You hope, if you watched our gameplay video and now you're watching this, you might know that sometimes the game does take a little while to get through. We're going to talk through our thoughts on this game to see if it is right for you. But we, the people that are going to be talking, my name is Tom, we have a Billy,
Hello, hello.
we have a Kai,
Yo.
and we have a Lachlan.
Hello.
And at the end of this all, we are going to put it on our Nerds of the West ranking list that you can also see up on our website. This is our list of games, not based on if one game is better than another, but just if given the opportunity, what we would prefer to play. We will re-rank this at the end of the year, all games getting reshuffled based on everyone here at Nerds Thoughts. But right now, let's start where I always like to, and it is very on point with this game, with the art. Oh, it's great. Is good. This game doesn't work if this doesn't have all kinds of weird things going on so you can pull from anything on the card.
Yeah, I think and they're all relatively in the same art style. I think the art for the characters and the location is really good because the theme is a circus slash carnival is the word I was looking for. Whereas I feel like the surrealist paintings, I'm not 100% sure. Like, because they're really hard because they're just like, they don't fit the theme, but you could not possibly create a whole stack of cards related around carnival themes.
I am curious, like, how much of it, though, they haven't crafted it around carnival, but they've gone, all right, we need a card that's very clearly the Tinkerer. We need a card that's got a spiral in it for the Hypnotist. Like, if there's that element to it, or they've just gone, hey, here's your brief, draw some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like the surreal drawings. They're very cool. It's an art-based game, so it makes sense that they're all very pretty. The other components, all, pretty reasonable looking. I like the...
There's not a lot to track in this game either, but I appreciate the cuteness of the little electric bulbs and moving that down. And these are decent quality plastic. Like, you could very easily skimp out on this, but it's a good little globe.
I mean, everything looks good. I like the little backs of the cards, the carnival and the people cards. I've got some cool old school.
I can't find fault.
Carnival themes, and then the clue ones have also kind of got this spooky thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty. Nothing wrong with the art at all.
Art is fantastic. Components are fantastic, and it's just a stripped down, easier version of Mysterium.
Box art is good. Nothing to complain about from an art point of view. Gameplay point of view, though. How does this sit for you? Not just on the game that we just played, but in general. You were saying it's a stripped back version of Mysterium. Is that better for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to choose this over Mysterium any day because it's quicker, there's less setup, you don't need as many people for this version, and you've got less choices, I think, when you are picking what you want. So I think just all in all, they just refined it to being better than Mysterium. Like, I do miss having like the player board or the DM board or whoever's running it, Game Master sheet, but it is way more refined, quicker and easier, and you still get the Mysterium experience, but none of the excessive setup and the need for a large table.
I think that's what it comes down to, is it's still the Mysterium experience of the ghost, and being the ghost of Mysterium is something I think everyone has to do at least once in their life. It is such an insanely gratifying when you get it right, and infuriating trying to like communicate abstract ideas that nothing else can quite do as well as it. I know people compare it to Dixit, but doesn't quite hit the same mark.
I mean, you can still use the Dixit cards.
100%.
And that's where the surrealistic cards, because there's so much to unpack from those cards that it's like, it's never just about what is like the first thing you see. It could be the multiple things. We had a round where Tom told a story with the 3 cards that he gave us, and that was the first time I think I've seen, well, probably not the first time, but that was the most clear version of a story being told with the cards together, whereas normally it's like either colors or symbols that people hone in on.
Is there anything you don't like, Billy?
It's cooperative.
See, Mysterium hits that spot in a cooperative game where I like it because there is still so much bickering and like arguing going on that it keeps it exciting. And that is like the best part of the game, really, is when you're yelling at the ghost and they have to sit there and take it because they They can't do anything about it. But I mean, yeah, the game is a simpler, easier, quicker setup. Just Mysterium consolidated.
Yep.
The only thing I miss as the ghost is having your board with a replica of everything that is on the table and having it really close to you.
Yeah.
But everything else being better for the trade-off of like something that's not that important anyway.
It's definitely nicer having the option to look at stuff without having to peek over and look at everything. Like, you have to make sure you're not like, what's in the circus there?
But you have like in Mysterium, you have like that was one thing I think I forgot, which is like you have each scenario and everything's like slotted in, so you can see who is what and where and why. And you get small versions of these cards, but you really don't need it. And that entire thing has been replaced with a card that just shows you who are people and what are they, and then you're a little bit more, you're closer as well. Like you're not having to peek over the top of it, so you're like, this is what you get given. You look at it. And then you're looking at it normally at the same distance that everyone else is, so you're not running into the issue of like having to pick up your cards and like try and figure out what you're actually looking at.
Even with that little bit easier, I struggle to find a reason to play Mysterium over this. I struggle to find a reason to recommend this or recommend original Mysterium over this, because this just hits that spot of easy to teach while satisfying to play. Like, this is so abstract to people who haven't played board games before, but it's such a great experience of, hey, all you got to do is think about what this card means in relation to all these other cards on the board. Have fun. And even if they don't win, it's still like, oh, this is so different and so fun that it's, as I was saying before, one of my favorite board gaming experiences was playing this with people I'd only met the day previously. And it was just like, so great to get to know people, to get to know how they think, to get to know how they communicate visually. Just an all-round, this game's a great experience.
Yeah, I think if you weren't a fan of the carnival theme, or you're a little bit over it and you've played this quite a few times, you could 100% take the rules from this and the cards or sheets for where people are and use Mysterium and convert it into this.
You probably could,
because I would like to play, if you've seen all these cards 100 times, if you want to go back to the original murderers and the original locations as opposed to the carnival version, you could definitely just take the cards from Mysterium and slap them in here and use the core mechanics for this.
Yeah, I do think that this game plays better with more people.
Yep.
Previously,
4 is rough.
Yeah, 4 is tough because you've only got 3 mediums out of a possible 5. That was something I found with the original Mysterium as well. It tended to be a game that came out when you've got like 6 people that you're trying to fit into a game, because I think it's 2 to 7 apparently, the original Mysterium. So it definitely was a game that came out for higher player counts, and I think this still works better when you're playing with more people. If you're playing it with like 5 or 6, I think it would play a bit better. If you watch the gameplay video, you saw how much we struggled when there's 2 extra clues out there that no one's guessing.
Yeah, 2 extra clues that you can't clear away and 2 less people that you're giving cards to cycle stuff through is difficult. It's doable, but it
is
the
definitely
cycling cards that really hurts you.
on that cusp of being not quite a party game, but it's close. It's really close.
Yeah,
to
I
being
don't know
party
if I'd call this a party. It's party in the sense that people can stop by and it's not going to interrupt the game, and that's what I look for in a party game. But it's not party in the sense that anyone can drop in and play, and that's a harder.
Yeah, I think party in the sense that Billy is saying that people are bickering, as that's the core element of the game.
Yeah, it's
social
a
interaction.
communicating social game with higher player count than a lot of other games.
Yeah.
So,
But I guess the real question is, where would you rank it on our board? We've got a lot of games on there so far from the last year or so. What are your thoughts on a rough out of 10 of where do you rank this, and then where would you put it on the board? 'Cause I love this. I adore this game.
I do like this game. It's a good one to bring out again with people who aren't necessarily hard into the board game hobby. It's a pretty easy one to explain how to play, look at the pretty colours, look at the pretty pictures, and just start playing. I would probably put this somewhere around the same kind of tier as like Azul or Libertalia, I feel. In not super complex, but a little bit of thinking. It's very different being abstract. It's hard to rank it directly against more strategy games.
Yeah,
but
Because I wouldn't pull this game out all the time.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to play this game at least once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Like, especially for just hey, something that we can only play one round of, or everyone can have a go of.
Yeah.
It's a really great chance for that, and it's a chance for people to get better at the game as it goes on without having to feel like they're putting too much effort into it.
You wouldn't want to play it too many times because then you'll fall into what we did where we had a meta for some cards.
Fire
But
equals fire.
that's because we started seeing the same cards, and that was just luck of the draw. There was so many other cards that we didn't see, and the Ghost probably did, but they just weren't suited for that scenario. And you could have a game where you never see the cards that you saw this round. But we did fall into that meta a little bit where fire equals fire, lion equals heavy,
Yeah. Yeah.
cat is cat.
I think I'd have to agree with you. I'd probably put this under Libertalia, but that's just because I love Libertalia.
Libertalia's good.
See, for me, I'm probably going to put it up here because as far as these types of games go, I do not normally like them, whereas I really enjoy Mysterium, and I haven't played any other games similar to it, so I don't know if all of those games compare the same, but I would play this before nearly any other cooperative game that I've ever played,
Yeah?
without a doubt.
Lachlan?
I'd have to agree with Billy that it would go in here. I mean, there's a lot of games that are down here that I really enjoy, and I would say that they're better, in my opinion, but they were probably put there because other people didn't agree. So in terms of like the grouping of games, I kind of look at it and go, well, I quite like these games more than I like this group of games. But whereas an outlier is not going to impact me and be like, oh, but Northgard I'd play over this. So I'm not going to put it below Northgard. I would just go, I prefer it over these group of games. And I'd have to put it in the middle here.
Fair enough. Well, I think that's just about fair. Like, this is a solid 6, 7 out of 10 game, in my opinion. But one that's really great to break out and play with people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I think it's got a place on most people's collections.
But let us know if it has a place in yours. Let us know if you have any other thoughts on this game. As we said, we do this live every single week on twitch.tv/Nerds of the West. You can come and see play games, learn how to play games, and then give our thoughts on games. If you want to do that, we'll be live. Otherwise, you can catch us on YouTube, and we will catch you next time.